Welcome to April and Debbie Dish the Truth on Weight Loss, where we share the raw, real, and sometimes messy truth about our weight loss journeys.
I am Debbie, a weight loss coach who has lost 100 pounds and have been living my life in maintenance for 4 years.
And I'm April, a weight loss coach, currently down 73 pounds and continuing my journey to lose 100 more.
Together, we'll explore the ups, downs, and everything in between, showing you that lasting weight loss is possible no matter where you are on your path.
Absolutely. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about a topic that was sent in from Barbara. And she talked about what do you do when you stop doing the work? She stopped writing her plans, journaling, all the things just because she thinks she had it. I got this. That's her thought, right? And then she starts to gain weight and she gives up. And then thinking about that, she's like, oh, that's kind of odd that I'm giving up what was working. That's what we're going to talk about.
So, April, let's dish the truth.
Yes.
Oh, this is such a good question
Yes.
because, I mean, no matter where you are in your journey, whether it's weight loss or maintenance,
Hmm.
it happens. We
Hmm.
just give up because and I think for me personally, the reasons that felt like I wanted to give up is because the road was so long. And I think our brains think that like, oh yes, it's working, but I have so far to go. I don't want to do this the entire time.
Yeah, and I think too that this is not something that just comes and you fix it and it doesn't happen again. It's
Hmm.
going to keep coming up, and different solutions come up at different times. And I think that's something that I've been learning, that we go through different seasons, or how people say life is a roller coaster, ups and downs, different points in your journey, different points in your life, different things are going to work for you. So just
Hmm.
because something worked for you last year that made you feel better and got you through it doesn't mean that that's going to be the case for this year, right? We have a cat
And
trying to join us.
I see the tail.
Yeah.
And 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 you are so right because how I was showing up a year ago is completely different than I am today
Yes.
because we don't stay the same. We're
Hmm.
always evolving as people.
Yes.
So, did you run into this when you started? Like, did you want to give up when you knew it was working, but it just seemed hard? How did you address that?
Yeah. So I think when Barbara talked about how she would think I got this and just stop doing things, I think that's a very common thing that happens to us all because we're cruising
Hmm.
along. Things feel good,
Yeah.
right? And you're like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore. But I think it's what we think about it after. Like when she talked about I gain weight and I feel um what'd you say? I start to gain weight and I give up because she's feeling, I'm guessing, I can't speak for Barbara, but I know for
Yeah.
me, when I felt that way, I felt like, oh, I obviously can't do this on my own. I'm always going to need somebody to help me. That's how I was thinking. And then I realized everybody needs help, right? We
Yes.
all
Yeah.
need assistance, support, friends, therapy. Um, Doctors, there's all kinds of support. There's not a person out there who's human, who's living, who lives a life who doesn't need help. Even at your job, there's assistance. Dentists have assistants, doctors have assistants, there's
Yeah.
RNs, you know what I mean? There's not really anything that's successful that doesn't have a system in place of multiple things going on. So I learned to embrace the things and tools that help me and make it easier. And sometimes there's also, like I talked about, seasons that are different. So when I go on vacation, I don't really plan and I don't assess or journal or anything like that. That to me is my break. And I have gotten to a point where so many of my habits have kind of become ingrained that there's enough there that I navigate vacation pretty well. But that's something I've gotten to. Everybody's different. So have you
Mhm.
gotten to what happened when you thought you had it and you stopped doing the things?
Which time?
Right?
You
I
know,
know.
because that's the thing. I mean, our weight loss journey and our journeys through life are so different at different times. So I think when I felt that I had this, it didn't take long for me to realize that I didn't, because I would notice, and it's not just the scale going up, and I think that that is what is so important for people to remember is the tools that we use to lose weight, whether it's planning, journaling, drinking your water, sleeping, whatever you're using, counting calories, macros,
Mhm,
like we it gets boring. It does. It
mhm,
gets boring. So, oh God, why do
yeah,
I have to do this to lose weight? And, I think the important thing to remember is that it takes work to lose weight.
mhm,
It takes work to live life. Like it's a job. And so when I stopped planning and stopped doing the things because I thought I had it, it didn't take long for me to realize I didn't. It's kind of like people who go to the gym and they skip exercise for a day. They miss it because of how good it makes their body feel. And I think
yeah,
that that's probably what got me back into the routine again, is because it was part of my day was missing, a habit that I knew that was supporting me, and
mhm,
I knew that it worked. So I do, and it's funny, we talk about our Kevins, like if I
mhm,
start complaining about, oh my gosh, I'm overeating, or things aren't going that, he'll say to me, have you been planning? Like
yeah,
it's just because those close to us also notice, and we may not even realize it, but they do. They notice the difference in us when our
absolutely.
routine changes.
Oh, yeah. And I like how you mentioned too that when you thought that you had it and it gets boring. Because I wonder, and I'd love to, if we had Barbara here, I would ask her, but I wonder if Barbara is also thinking, why do I have to do this to lose weight? When you said that, Debbie, I thought, yes, is that really what she's thinking or feeling? Because I know I have felt that more than I've got this. I've got this. I haven't gone through too much yet because I am still very much learning. I'm still in the very beginning, I feel, of my journey. But the why do I have to do all this to lose weight? I've absolutely felt that on
Hmm.
very, very often. So for me, it's kind of like I imagine that I'm throwing a little tantrum. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Like, I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to, write my plan or count my calories or count or whatever I'm doing for that. Or I shouldn't have to go to bed at a certain time because that's another thing to make sure you get enough sleep because we are all learning that there's, studies and all this stuff that getting enough sleep for your body absolutely equates to how well you do on your weight loss journey. So
Hmm.
I like to stay up late and I'm I understand about myself now that if I stay up past 9 o'clock, that I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to do my exercise and do everything else I need to do because I'm not going to have enough sleep to function. So that means I have to start getting ready for bed around 8:15, 8:30. And I don't enjoy that. I want to stay up and watch TV with my husband.
And it feels
So,
like you're a kid again, right? I've got to be in
yeah,
bed. Yeah.
yes. But this leads me into what I really like to focus on and what changed a huge amount of my journey so far was when it was from No BS and it was Corinne Crabtree. She had given a podcast about being willing. And she had talked about um, we wait for motivation and you're not always motivated to do the things you do in life, like take out the trash or go to work or wash your car or whatever it is. But you do it because you're willing to do it anyway, because you don't want your house to stink and you want the cash to pay the bills, so you go to your job. And it was just such a powerful thing to me. And I took, are you willing? And I ran with it. Like that is what I say to myself I'm not going to say every day because some days are easier than others, but I would say 80% of the time, there's a point in my day that I say to myself, okay, but are you still willing to get up out of bed? Because you know you're going to feel better doing what you want to do in the morning. Or, okay, are you willing to make your plan? Because you know you're going to feel better at the end of the day making a plan for what feels good for you. So that's really my own personal mantra that I play like a broken record in my head to get through days like that.
Yeah, I love that you brought up your mantra because last night I had some well, my daughter gave them and her significant other gave us some cookies. They gave us a whole, now listen, I've lost 100 pounds and my daughter gives Kevin and I this bag and her significant other this bag of just all snacks. It was cookies. I mean, I can't even tell you. And we ate all of it except this magical bag of cookies that were like Oreos but with mint. And
Mm,
I had four of them last night and they were so good. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to have four more." And then I said, "No, you're not. You didn't plan for them and they will be there tomorrow." And I
mhm,
literally had a conversation like you had with yourself about being willing. I said,
mhm.
can I just know that those four cookies will be there tomorrow and I get to
Yes.
choose?" And I think that that's so important. So when Barbara, you're talking about, not wanting to do the work, it reminds me, I have a friend, Martha, who she asks herself, do I want to win or do I want to wait? And I think that those are such good questions to ask. So you know what is working for you, you are doing it. And like you said, April, do I want to do this for the rest of my life to lose weight? But do you want to stay the same weight that you are now? And,
Mhm,
and that's a choice. You could stay at your
mhm.
same weight and be perfectly happy with it. But if you
Right.
want to lose weight, you want to continue those habits. So having a strong why of why it's important for you to continue to plan and to drink the water, I think will help support you on the days when you're just like, I don't want to do it.
Yes.
And and I think what is also so important to do, it's not going to change when you get to maintenance. The planning, the drinking the water, the sleeping, the journaling, the showing up for yourself still continues. So I think embracing it as part of just your new norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, it's all about perspective, right? So everybody, I feel like, and it's kind of what we talked about in the first podcast about how we're listening to all these external voices, right? So somebody can tell me going to bed at 9 o'clock is going to benefit me. Okay, but I still don't want to do it.
Yes.
However, I've put it into practice and I have learned for myself that I genuinely feel better when I do that. So I do remind myself when I'm on the couch because I set an alarm on my phone to go up at 8 o'clock to remind me that bedtime's coming. And I'm like, yes, I want to do this. I want to do this. I've been told this is helpful and I have found out that I agree. So I'm choosing this for myself. So you brought up water too, Debbie, that I've been struggling with water. I had gotten to the point where I had a habit of drinking between 80 to 100 ounces of water daily. It was like, no problem, loved it, felt great, didn't have headaches, felt energized, like all these things, snacked less. It was really, really helpful. Winter hits. I don't want to drink the water.
I
I'm
know.
cold all the time, all the time. And anybody who knows me out there knows this is truth. I I cannot get warm in the winter. So I have been only hitting maybe like 30, 40 ounces a day. It's been a real struggle for me. And I had a chat with my coach, and she brought up my water intake and how it would be helpful. And I was like, yeah, I know, I know. And I walked away from the conversation. I was like, it is super. I always feel better, right? So you know what I did? Here's my
Hmm.
trick for anybody else out there. I don't know if anybody will want to try it, but I was like, "Okay, I don't wanna drink ice water," and at work, it comes out from the, cooler, icy, it's, like, super cold, right?
Yeah.
So, I also added a little of the hot water from the cooler into it, so I made it warm, really like room temperature water, which might be gross to some people, but for this cold girl, it did the trick. So and I only just thought of this the other day, so yesterday I did hit 100 ounces, and today I hit 100 ounces. So, the
Oh my
other thing.
gosh.
Yes, thank you, I feel really good
Awesome.
about that.
Nice job.
The other thing I want to add really quick about the water is since I increased it the past couple of days, I've been struggling with waking up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom and not be able to get back to sleep. So
Oh
that's been
no.
very difficult. So what I also have done today that I'm trying is I am getting the most of my water in the morning and in the early afternoon and towards the nighttime, kind of easing out. So I'm not still drinking a lot of water at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So my point is in telling all these tips too, is that if you're choosing to embrace the idea that water's good for me, then find ways that you do enjoy it and remember why you do it. So for me, I know that I snack less. I know that my urges are down. I know I don't get headaches as much. And I struggle with leg muscle cramps.
Yep.
And I don't get them as much when I drink all the water. So I was at my desk today. I was kind of like, I don't want to drink any more water, but I did. I ran through the list in my head and I finished my water, my big 40 that I bring to work every day.
Nice job. I'm going to be honest with you. This is my second glass of water today. I have also been, but I have, for me, I love cool mint tea
Mm.
and buttermint tea. So in the
Oh,
winter when I want to get water in, it's tea. So I did have some tea
okay.
today, but
Yeah.
yeah. So and I think what you're saying is so true. Like Barbara, when you are doing these things to remember why, not just to lose
Yes.
weight,
Right.
because again, weight for me, weight loss, and I think for you too, April, like the weight loss is a side effect of everything else that I
Yeah.
learned on my journey. So remembering why the planning is important and why the water, like you said, the water makes your body feel better. The sleep,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm napping on the couch by 8 o'clock, and Kevin wakes me up at 9. He's like, it's time for bed. So I, I love the sleep, but just yeah, I really focusing on why the things that you are doing, how they improve your life,
Yes.
not just weight loss related.
Yes. Absolutely. I'm interested in hearing too how you handle the planning in terms of maintenance because you've been doing it longer and now it's a different version for you. Because I know for me with the planning, I actually have come to a point where I actually look forward to planning my day. Now I'm in a different stage of my personal journey. Um, I am working with a coach outside who works with women who have PCOS and have struggles with that with weight loss. So it is focused on strength training and also calories and macros. So, but I enjoy that. And I sit down and I make it's still making my plan in the sense of like, what do I want to eat, for example? And then when I looked at everything, I was like, oh, this might be a little bit much. So I made a choice. I still wanted my coffee. So I chose not to have, I think it was a banana that day or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember what it was, but I swapped out because I still wanted to have coffee in my day. So with creamer, by the way. Well,
Mm.
dairy-free creamer, but that's my own issue because of my stomach stuff. Because I have everybody will learn as we go along on this journey. I have lots of sensitivities and ailments, and I'm gluten-free and dairy-free, and I've had IBS and all the things. But and that also goes along with like I've really struggled with finding my own way to listen to my body, and
Mm.
I have learned so much. Your body tells you so much. And it's really about learning how to listen and take the time. And once you do that, the relationship and the care that you give, it just transforms everything. People who know me personally know I grew up sick all the time. And I was getting sick 4 or 5 times a day in the bathroom. I was always,
Ah.
it's just a long story. So that we can get into some other day because I know a lot of people have food issues out there, but I would like to hear how planning works for you in the sense of maintenance and how you approach it now.
So it's interesting that you've asked. I haven't made a plan in a week, and
Okay.
that isn't like it's not bad for me. Like it's just something that I've chosen not to do, but I have a planner, and when I every day, even though I am not writing it down, so I'm not planning in my head, Kevin and
Mhm,
I discuss what we're going to eat. So I
mhm.
always know what we're going to eat because I have
Kevin
a
and I do that
very
too.
yeah, it's I mean And that is the thing, like this journey doesn't have to be alone. And you know what I mean? So they know what they know we plan our food. So Kevin asks in the morning, what are we going to do for dinner? And
Yeah.
so I still know what I'm going to have breakfast, lunch, dinner. I am a dessert lover. And it's actually kind of funny because when I was at my heaviest, sweets were not my thing. And
Oh, okay.
oddly enough, since I've lost, been going down the scale,
Mhm.
sweets have become my thing. So I have two ice creams at night or sometimes ice creams and cookies. But my breakfasts are usually generally the same. I have cereal with milk and lunches. I'm on the go a lot. And my dear friend April once looked at my lunch and she's like, "What are you eating?" And because I'm driving, like
Yeah.
what did I have?
It,
Crackers
oh, I
and
remember. It was
you do.
peanut butter crackers. I remember the peanut butter crackers
Oh, and the fig bars.
and the fig ones. And
Fig bars.
I thought
And
to
she's
myself,
like, "How's that
how
keeping you
are you
full? Where's the
functioning?
protein?" And
Yeah.
where April is so aware of like the foods that impact our body and, getting enough protein and all, like I'm like, I just need something quick and easy and convenient. And I wasn't even, and that's again, this is where having a friend, an accountability partner, somebody that you're willing to, let into your world and see
Yeah.
what you're eating. She's like, maybe you should look at protein a little bit more. And so my lunches have leveled up a little bit, so I'm doing that, and then dinner,
And you said you felt better.
I did feel better, I had more energy, so
Yeah.
but you know what, I grew up in a home where, like, balanced meals weren't really a thing,
Yeah.
and, I mean, I guess maybe they were a little bit, but not like, not so convenience was what happened in our house, so
Yeah.
but everything that we do on our journey to losing weight is everything that we're going to need to do when we are in maintenance. So, you know, as much as you don't like doing them, maybe right now the planning and it seems monotonous and a lot of work, it doesn't stop. So embracing it and you know what, if you get tired for a little bit, take a break. See how it impacts you.
Yeah. And the other thing, Barbara might have heard this before, anybody else, but I know I find it super helpful to just get something new. Buy a new water bottle, buy a new journal. I've gone through multiple journals to plan my food in a year because, oh, that one's pretty. I want that one now. Or anything that gets you excited again,
Yeah.
and it can change. When I first started doing activity in the morning before work and I wanted to keep track of it, I bought myself stickers and I put stickers on my calendar on my refrigerator every day I did it, and that was exciting to me. I was
Yeah.
happy to get that sticker. So, and or you can make it a game, like if you hit a certain goal by a certain time, that's, you get to buy a new tumbler. Or there's so many different little things, but it's so personal to what excites you. Like stickers might not excite you, but they do. I
I
actually,
love stickers.
me too.
Yeah,
And
they're fun.
since we've decided to go video as well, maybe next week or sometime soon, I created a picture frame, and in it, each sticker represents each pound that I've lost. So there's like 73
It's
stickers or
amazing.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just pictures of flowers and birds. And I just love it. So I can share that at some point to show people. So anything that kind of just gets you thinking about it in a fun way will trigger you to want to do it more. That's how I look at it.
I have to say I agree with you. John Acuff, it is probably one of the he has so many wonderful books and so many
Mhm.
wonderful messages, but when I heard him say that when he was working on growing his business, he gamified it. He made it
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
so nobody wants to lose a game, right? Y'all want to win a game, so you just
Yeah.
keep doing the work. And you know, getting to where you want to with your goals, whether they're weight loss, exercise, whatever it is,
Mhm.
like you want to win that game. So make it, like you're saying, make it fun. Do the stickers, the journals, you know, and
Yes.
rewarding yourself, even with something as simple as hand cream. Like just build
Mhm.
yourself up.
It's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. It's so important to acknowledge and make it fun. And like you said, any habit, because I struggle with more than just food. And I'm sure you do
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, I do. Yes, I do.
So any habit that you're looking to change, there's a positive way to make it. I think it just goes back to also what we're talking about in the first episode. It's how you talk to yourself. If you didn't drink the water and you're like, oh, I'm just never going to drink enough water. Why can somebody else drink it and I can't drink it? Or I failed today because I didn't drink the water. Those are the thoughts that really, really just build up a wall from you continuing to progress. Like, okay, well, how much water did you get today? You got 8 ounces? That's great. Tomorrow you're going to shoot for 10 and give yourself a sticker when you get that 10. It's kind of like, because when I start working out in the morning, I am not a morning person. And I told myself I just have to get up out of bed at 5 and I just have to get myself downstairs because I first started with doing workouts in the basement. That was it. If I walked down into the stairs with my sneakers and clothes on, that was enough for me. Now I did usually end up doing something, but there were there were some days where I was like, you know what? I got up out of bed. I'm good.
Yep.
But I think it's all these expectations of we see what other people do and we think like that's the optimal. If we're not doing what everybody else is doing, then it's not enough. And there's too many people in the world. You will never be able to do what everybody else is doing. You have to start with what you can do and feel good about. And my beginning was 5 minutes. I did 5 minutes on my recumbent bike, and that is what I started doing. And it's like, I think, what, 2 years later, I walk 45 minutes outside now, or I do 40 minutes on my bike. I just started strength. You will build if you just don't put too much pressure and be
Hmm.
joyous for what you're actually giving yourself. Because whatever effort you're making, it's a gift that you're giving yourself. And that's the key to how to look at it, to feel good.
Absolutely. It
Mhm.
is. And I know, I just want to say what you brought up about comparing. Compare
Yeah.
and despair. I'm telling you, don't compare
Yeah.
yourself to anybody. You are your own person, and we all have individual journeys. I don't have PCOS. You know what I mean? So our journeys are, so
Yeah.
I can't compare myself to you. You can't, because we're different. And
Yeah.
I think the more that we focus on our own journeys,
Mhm.
the more we'll be able to embrace that journey.
Yes. And comparing to it's when you compare, it's natural, right? Because
Yes.
we always want to fit in or we want to do as good as somebody else. So it's a natural thing to compare. Um, but when it happens, it's like you have to just talk to yourself through these. You're having a conversation with yourself like a friend, right? So if I
Yeah.
said you, I really feel like crap because Suzanne, walked 10 miles and I only walked a mile. You would then say to me, yes, but you walked that mile. That's what we
Yeah.
have to say to ourselves. I walked
Yes.
that mile. Good job.
Yes. Yeah. And it's the patting on the back and the cheering.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was such a great question.
It was.
And
Thank you, Barbara.
yeah, thank you, Barbara. And you know what? If you want to come on here and tell us if we had it right, or if I mean,
Yeah.
I think,
Or if there's additional questions you have now or a specific situation, because I think the more specifics we get, the better we can address it specifically to somebody
yeah,
and help them directly, which is, of course, what we want to do. So, but yeah, it was a really good, we got a lot of I feel like we're just going to have to, I'm just so excited for all of it because there's so many great questions and topics that I'm really looking forward to us discussing.
I am too. And I mean, we just like to talk anyway. So
That's
it
true.
just gives us an excuse
That's
to
true.
hang out and talk some more. So
That's true.
yeah. So
Yep.
thank you everybody for joining us on
Yes.
our second podcast.
Yeah.
And I mean, April and I were talking about this before we got on, the love and the support and all the kind
Mhm.
words,
Yeah.
just overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Overwhelming is the only
Yeah.
word. It's just lit up my days. Like everybody's reception of it and encouragement and support and connection. Like multiple people said how they could resonate and connect and pull something from just our first episode. and even people who don't have weight issues. Because again, all these thoughts and concepts, things we've gone through, they're all applicable to anything that you're trying
Anything.
to work on for yourself. It's not just weight loss related. We often, any goal that you have for yourself, whether it's saving money, switching jobs, anything that you can think of, it's really how you talk to yourself, knowing that you deserve better for yourself and wanting to do that and being willing.
I love that.
Mm,
So join us next week
yeah,
and we will share a little post because I don't think we talked about what we're talking about next week, but stay
no,
tuned and
we'll
you're
go
going to
through.
find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
if you have
right.
any
Well,
more suggestions, let us know.
yes, please.
All right. So April, I will talk to you and everybody later. Keep blooming, everybody. You're worth it.
Yes. And remember to wake up willing and make choices that feel good to you.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye.